INFIX, a solution to transport. It's not enough to provide the functionality that is required to facilitate transport, but you also need to inspire it. We were asked to provide an application that facilitates the necessary booking processes and everything for travel on an interplanetary scale. But that's not enough, because when you think of a person traveling beyond space to a place that is unknown, you need to provide necessary information and the motivation for that person to travel that place in the first place. Hence, we combined a travel application with a social media application. Every user gets a profile where he or she can document the experiences that they gain on their journeys. It also provides the user the advantage of having all their memories stacked up in one place. But that's not all. Once another person searches for a planet and looks for travel, they can view those memories, and hence they get the clear idea of what the real-time situation of that place is and what are the places to go and if they need to go in the first place. This can provide the necessary information for a person to travel, but also motivate them to travel to places that are not known. Hence, as asked, we provide you with this solution of facilitating travel as well as motivating to travel more.
So let's move on to the code overview. Our project, INFIX, on the team StemDevops. First of all, I'll show you the folder structure in which we oriented the program. So on a base, it's the front end and the server. Let's dive into the front end first. On the front end, we have grouped the folder structures in a way that lets us use the components more reusably, also while differentiating each type of files in different places, hence making it easier for a person to understand the program and also for us to work on it constantly. So, first of all, diving into the components, we can see all the components that have been reusably used within the project. So basically you can see the auth button, which basically gives the authentication button, and so auth input, just the same, which gives the authentication input field, which is also the input text field used throughout the layout, and card as in what is being used in the home page to display the images and the memories and everything. And card horizontal, what it basically does is it has oriented a stack of cards that can be scrolled horizontally. So that's for the main navigation components. And checkout card and the checkout crypto is basically contains the basic structure of the checkout pages of payment. And input text field again is a component that's been used again and again for the program to get an input. And you can also see the single trip, round trip and multi-trip, which we basically took as the different methods of transportation, or rather packages that the user can access, and we created these as components, so it is easier for us to use later on when switching between each mode and comparing the pros and cons for the user. The notification component basically gives a notification view which pops up and also can be displayed within the notification page. The social button basically consists of login and sign up through social media, which we added as it is the current trending structure. The ticket card basically views the booked trips or the tickets that have already been booked by the user. So once the user books the tickets, he or she needs to see what are the purchases that they have made. Hence, ticket card shows that. Moving on, context basically covers authorization. So this basically checks and the functionality of login and logout. Navigation. So it gets interesting a little bit. So within navigation, we have created the navigations between each and every interface. So first of all, app nav. We have structured it in a way that once a user opens the app, it basically checks if he or she is authenticated or not, and basing on that, we are directing them to different stack screen. Hence, it prevents any possible security threats that might come in the way if we forward them to another like a common page. Because like if that's the case, then the user would like bypass the system and go on to the program. But in this way, if the user is not authenticated, then the stack screen will automatically divert it into OpNav, which basically asks for authorization itself. And if and only if they are authenticated, then only will be transferred to mainNav stack screen, which basically consists of all the functioning material. So moving on, again OpNav. So the UpNav and OpNav is again related. So this basically forms the navigation between different modes of sign up or login, basically different modes of authentication. So then main navigation. So main navigation comes at the home screen and thereafter. So it's basically the bar on the bottom, which basically provides the navigation, hence the navigation bar. So we'll create the components home, search, and like robot search or booking process, and notifications, and then profile. So hence this is the navigation that functions that. So once you go into the profile, then another few navigation pop up like settings and profile and stuff, and memory view, which is a basic component of our ideology, and hence that component is created here as well. So travel now basically gives the navigation between the different components within the travel selection page, which is the basic and core booking process of the system. So I think that covers the front-end aspect and the navigation and the components. So passing that on, we come to the views, which holds basically all the views that you see on the program. So inside that, again, you get authentication and a login and sign up, and op selection page, which basically lets the user choose whether to login or sign up. So, and login and sign up respectively handles those functions. So another thing to note down is that we use this as a local host, hence trying to implement the solution. So the access posts are directing into our own local host address that we for the gateway. So that's that. Passing that on, we come to the main navigation or main view, which basically was the home page. So this is where everything links together, and hence we kept it as a separate folder to highlight the fact that this is the main, and around this only everything is circulating around. So passing that on, we come to the other views that are seen through the program. So if we have to check one by one, checkouts. So checkouts basically does the function of handling the transaction. So once the viewer has selected starting position and a destination, and then chosen the mode of travel and everything, all the details that he needs to be checked, now he needs to be forwarded into a view to continue the purchase. Hence it's implemented here. So help center, again a view that created for informational stuff on how to access to the application, which is like the trend of the current day. So memory view. So as I talked in the introduction, creating a memory and being able to update that memory and use it as a stack or in a group for the user to see and collect, as well as to be viewed by other users while searching for different locations, to get the general and real-time idea of what they're traveling. So memory view is the core component of that. It's not worth to say that this is not fully implemented in the backend yet, but like this is for future improvements, but the front end is already created and that's the way it's going to be. So basically a user can stack up memories, and then those memories can be viewed by others as well, and they are being suggested that when someone searches for a planet through a tag that relates to that planet. So passing that on, notification screen again simply views like shows the stack of notification that the user has received, whether someone has shared their memory or like their memory or something like that. So notification screen is for that purpose. Planet detail screen basically covers the search option. Through the search option, user can search for a planet, and once they do, they have been directed to this place where they can get the general ideas for the stack of photos and the general information that we have been provided, but also can view the memories that the others have tagged on that planet. So he or she can get the general idea about where they are traveling, which was a basic necessity that was being given to us, hence is implemented in this way. So profile screen basically does the context of handling the profile to say that where they can see the stack of memories that they have created and their personal information. So profile screen.js, that's what it is for. Settings, again basically basic functionality. So it covers changing of language and things like that. Some parts are to be fully implemented yet, but that's what this does. So tickets.js, so basically shows you the tickets. So that's what it does. Travel screen, so which is another core component of this program, which contains the booking process. So here you get the option to travel, choose between options and then the typical booking process. So as I said earlier, we have used the components that we created in the component section for this functionality, depending on what the user has chosen, and hence provide the necessary booking process as well as your small description of the place, and then proceed to check out if they are interested. Also, this provides basic functionalities like single trip or round trip or multi trip, which dynamically handles each and every situation on their personal preferences. Word search screen, this basically searches for possible destinations. So we have used this component as well here and there, but basically this is a view which is taken from the main navigation bar where the user goes and checks for a planet, and he or she is capable of finding out more or booking a trip to that place directly from that place on. So that's followed by upload.js, which basically calls for authentication views where the program starts. So with that being said, the front end is almost been explained forward. So moving on to the back end, we contain all the back end in a server folder, hence for clarity and the lesser complexity of the code. So it makes it easier for us to work. So the databases are created with Postgres, so that's what we chose to do, and it makes it secure and easy to use on this level. So we went for Postgres. So that's the database being created. So that being said, the database is hosted within DigitalOcean. So again, that's what we chose to do. So connecting to Prisma, we connected these databases and to Postgres, DigitalOcean, and Prisma. So passing that on, the backend basically handles all the data transactions between the front end and the back end, and so tools cover almost all of it, which contains the component for booking routes, which is in the booking process again, and card routes again saves the ATM cards or Visa cards or whatever the mode of payment and then transfers it back. Destination route basically covers what the user gives as a destination. So either it's a current location or possible destination or interested planet or whatever that is being routed to destination routes. Code routes again comes from the travel view, which I talked earlier, which contains the three components of like different options. So the data that's been given here is been routed to all routes. User routes, on the other hand, basically handles login and registration, that aspect of the process. Passing the routes on, we come to controllers, and again, the basic functionality of communication between the front end and back end, booking a trip and controlling the cards and destinations, which basically contains the locations, order controls, and user controls. It's fair to say that some of these parts are still under implementation for future improvements, but right now all the basic necessities of a booking process is being implemented, but the facts related into the memory views and correspondence between planets and views and that user experience that's still being developed in the backend. So that needs to be said as well. So with that being said, we come to the end of the code overview. So This basically covers the what and where each function is being created, and I haven't gone in detail into the code, but like this is the general overview. So again, the file structure folder structure everything is created to compare and contrast the files and components that's being used rather than putting it on a stack at a single place. So this makes it easier for us to work on it in progression for future developments, but also most importantly it creates more efficient and a safer way to handle the data. So this is the general code outline, and let's move on to the user flow section of the video.
So this is the main interface that a user sees once they open the app. So he gets the context of authentication and with the two main options, login or sign up. So for the context, there's also social media as well. Our initial idea was actually to implement Face ID unlocking, but due to difficulties in implementation, it is kept as a future improvement. Assuming that the user needs to sign up, we can go to sign up. And upon giving the necessary details, what the user has to do is sign up. So let's log in and see what it is on the inside. So currently the username and password that we have given is 1234 and password as ABC. Once the user has logged in, this is the main page. As you can see, it contains the basic functionality of flight and flight search, and also gives the popular destination, which are the planets, as well as top stories, which are the stories posted by other users who have traveled planets. They can either view them or book a trip straight to those planets, and latest offers as well. So it is a simple but provides the basic functionality. So from here, let's move on to the core concept of this application, which is to book a trip. So upon going to flights, on basic UI you see basic modes of flight, which are one-way, round-trip and multi-planet, basically categories. So on one-way, it's fairly simple, the departure destination, and you get to choose the departure date as well, and after doing so, travel mode and number of tickets. On round-trip on the other hand, the destination departure is the same, so other than that it's basically simple. But on multi-planet, you get to add trips as well, and add as many as you want, and remove trips as well, and it gets to the checkout. So let's proceed. Departure, let's say Moon 1, and on destination Moon 2. Departure date, let's give it a countdown date. Okay, go. Travel mode, hyperdrive. Number of tickets, you can choose from 5, let's say. So once providing the necessary details, you can proceed to checkout. So upon checkout, you come to this page where you can basically choose a method of payment. If it is crypto, then you can connect your wallet and currency from here, and if it's card, you can add your new card, which basically leads to next interface, and select your card as well. So that's basically our booking system, where you get the full functionality of booking a trip with the method you want, and also selecting the type of transportation that you need, compare and contrast the prices, and then select a mode of payment, and then confirm to checkout. So that is our booking system. So other than the primary booking process, there are other functionality as well for the user to continue their work and experience the maximum user satisfaction. So basically the profile, and in the profile, as I mentioned, the memories stack up wherever they go, and those memories can be shared and viewed by others as well. So upon sharing memories, they get points as well. So there's that. You can basically edit the profile details and do everything from here. So this screen is basically the notification. He gets notified about the memories they shared or liked, and also the points they've earned. So that's the notification screen. So back to here, this is basically the spaceship search, where you continue with the booking process as discussed earlier. So here you are provided with a search functionality, where you can basically search for planets on what you want. So let's assume we need to search for Hip Hill, then you get that as well. So that is the search functionality. So going back again, you come back to home page. So on a final note, once you book the tickets, you can also view the tickets that have been already booked through here as well. So that's the basic functionality on a front end. So those are the user flows that the user can follow. So it's safer to say that the memories and adding new memories and all those functionality is for future improvements. And for right now at the moment, what's been implemented thoroughly is the booking process and the necessary functionality of payment and continuation with payment and reviving what's being already booked for. Along with our proposed future implementations, as well as by combining a travel application with a social media platform, we bring to you the revolutionizing product idea of facilitating travel. INFIX to the infinite.